Today we are going to be ranking car brands off of my opinions, my honesty, and my name is Alex. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Let's get on with it actually. So we're going to start off with Aberth. Hopefully I try to find the best tier list. I guess I could have made my own. Find the best tier list that had all the car brands, or most of them. Most common ones, you know what I mean? So we can go with Abarth. Abarth is pretty cool, and I'm gonna pull up Barth. So they're like the sportier versions of like Fiats and stuff. It's found in Italy, Bologna. I mean, they're cool, they're nice. I would probably put them in meh. AC, I've heard of them, but I don't know too much about them. I guess I'm not the biggest fan of. I've heard of them, but I don't really know much about them, so I guess not the biggest fan of. Nothing wrong with them. Acura is cool. They're known for like the Integra. I love the Integra. There's TLX. There's the what's it called, NSX, that was originally Honda. I mean, they're nice. I would probably put they're cool, but I like their older cars mainly than the newer. So I'd probably put them in like nice. Alfa Romeo, I'm the biggest fan of. I only like the Alfa Romeo 4C. That's about it. I don't like, they have such weird names, the Quadrifoglio. That's like the only one I know. 4C, but they are pretty ass. I would say I'm not the biggest fan of. Never heard is, of course, I've never heard of, and then straight ass. Alpine. I don't really know much about them, so I'm honestly gonna put them here. Never heard of them because I don't know anything about them. American Motors. What's American Motors? Okay, so it's an American Motors company, of course. It was founded in 1954 and I guess defunct in 1988. So they merged with Jeep and I guess Chrysler Corporation. I've never heard of them. What the heck? Is it Cam General? AM General? What's that? Oh, so this is kind of like the old Hummers. So basically I guess AM is like old Hummers. That's cool. I didn't know that until now. I've never really heard of it, but I would probably say I'm not the biggest fan of. And then we got Amphicar. Is it like, what the heck is Amphicar? I've never heard of this, ever. Play along, I appreciate it. Leave a comment below, what is your favorite? Amazing, great, just play along. Never heard of. Apollo is cool. I don't know too much about them. I know that it's a hypercar car brand. I think they're cool, amazing. I wouldn't say my favorite, but Ariel, it's known for the Ariel Atom. I think it's cool. I would probably honestly meh, cool. I would probably put this as cool and then just meh. I think it's cool. Great's like, it's above cool, you know what I mean? Ascari, never heard of them. I'm not gonna really look them up. Aston Martin, I like them. I like them a lot. There's the Vantage, the DB1211. There's the Valkyrie, the Valhalla. There's the whatever it's called. I forgot what it's called. I think they're cool. Audi, I do like Audi. There's like the Audi Quattro. There's R8, the TT, R6, the 6. 5, Audi R8. I would say they're great. Austin, isn't that like a British car company? I'm not the biggest fan. I would say never heard of, really, because I don't know much about them. What the heck is this? Okay, so apparently this is Bach. I didn't know that. So it's like the Bach motto, I'm gonna guess. Never really heard of them. I've seen some of their cars, pretty cool, but never really heard of. I would probably say they're cool. Bentley, they're great. I like them a lot. I wouldn't say above them. It's definitely not above amazing, and it's definitely above cool. It's below amazing, above cool. So I'm gonna put of great. I'm just gonna put them. I like them. I like them. Bentley. I like Bentley. Baritone. I've heard of the name. It's an Italian, right? I don't know much about him, so we're just put him here. BMW, I do love them. There's amazing. I like that. Amazing. I'm trying to like rework them and how I want to name them. I like them. I would say that I like them. I'd probably just put it Bentley. I like Bentley. I love BMW. I like their older models. The i8 sucks. I hope I pissed some of y'all off. We can have a whole debate in the comments. I'm totally down for that. I love the M3 and the M4. My favorite would probably be the M2. I do like the BMW M1. If you guys don't know what that is. Bowler, never heard of them. Brabus, basically, they take a bunch of Mercedes vehicles, I think, and a bunch of other vehicles and make their own version. I think they're amazing, honestly. Actually, I'd probably put I like them. We'll probably work some of this around just to see how it looks. But yeah, I like them. Brooklyn, never heard of. Bristol, I've heard of the name, but never really known. Bugatti, solid brand. I love them. I love them. They're probably one of my favorites, honestly. Buick sucks. Cadillac, meh. I'm not a big Cadillac guy. Caterham, I've heard of them, but I don't know much about them. I think they're cool, honestly. I think they're like kind of funny. Chevrolet, I like Corvettes, of course. The ZR1, I got to see 3 of them actually already. Camaro, Chevelle, trucks. I don't like trucks. I would just put them as cool. Chrysler, terrible. Citroen, I've seen a bunch of Citroens because I went to Italy. I'm not the biggest fan of them. Actually, I would put them as meh. I don't know much about them, but I have seen a bunch of them, and it's basically like, think of your Honda or your Toyota. Corvette. Alright, so this is where I'm gonna probably put Chevrolet down here then. I'm not a big Chevy guy. Corvette would be, I actually like Corvette. I like the older models. I just like them in general. Dacia Sandero. If you guys get that reference, Top Gear. Dacia, never really heard of them. I know something about them, but I'm not. I'll probably put them right here. I don't know much about them. I'm gonna put the Baritone right here. I've heard of them, but don't know much about it. Actually, let's do that. Hold on. Okay, so I've heard of Alpine. I've heard of Dacia. I've heard of Baritone. And I've heard of Bristol. There we go. And I've heard of Austin. These, never heard of them. What the heck is that? Daewoo? That's a Vietnam, I think that's a South Korean, car manufacturer. I had this book of a bunch of it's like all the car brands. Don't know, I haven't looked at it in a long time. I've heard of them, and I've seen one car, but I don't know much about it. So, what is this? So this is Daihatsu. I've heard of it. I just didn't remember it off of the logo. I'm just gonna put it here. Datsun. Y'all probably know. I'm not the biggest fan of Datsun. I've heard of him, but don't know much about him. What is this? I'm not even gonna look. I kind of want to look it up though. I don't know. I've never seen it. I'm just curious. So this is called DeSoto. Never heard of it. It's an American car company. Just learned. Dead Tomaso. I couldn't read it. I've seen a couple of Dead Tomasos. I actually think they're pretty cool. Not gonna lie. I'd probably put them right there. Boom. I think they're pretty cool. I've seen the newer models. I was talking about the Peterson, and I've seen like car meets. What is? I think this is not. I would say this is not Skoda. I've never seen this. Okay, so this is Devron Motorworks. Apparently they're trying to buy a Dodge Viper. Never heard of them. DMC, you probably know them. For you guys that don't, it's DeLorean. Everyone knows DeLorean from Back to the Future. Not a good car, by the way. So I would probably put cool because, well, I love them. I want to own one. I actually kind of want to own one. Dodge, I don't like Dodge. I hate Dodge. Actually, I don't hate Dodge. I like the older Dodge models. I'm not a Dodge fan. I'm gonna put terrible. But if you're talking about old classics, I'll put meh. Cool. It's just I don't like Dodge. I would put meh. I can't read. JD, is this Oldsmobile? That's definitely not Oldsmobile. So I have no clue what this is. I tried looking it up and it wasn't giving me anything. We're just gonna put never heard of. Duesenberg, it's a German car company. I don't think they're in production. It was an old thing back in the Hitler days. And I've heard of him, don't know much about him. Never heard of Eagle, by the way. What is this? So apparently this is like an off-brand of Ford. They call it Edsel-Mobile. Never heard of them. It's an American car company. Ferrari. I love Ferrari. I have a Ferrari wallet. I don't have a shirt. I have a Ferrari wallet. I have a Ferrari phone case. I love Italian cars. Italian cars. I just love Italian cars, really. I went to Italy. I went to go see them. My mom took me to go to Italy back in summer for my graduation, and I love them. I love them. I just love Ferrari. I would probably put it over Bugatti. Oh, Bugatti is also Italian. I'm gonna put Ferrari over Bugatti. Fiat, trash. Fisker, I don't know much about it. I've seen some of their cars, actually. There's one at RPM Garage, so that'd be kind of fun. The looks are interesting. I've heard of them, but I don't know much about them. But I have seen them. Ford. Alright, so we're talking about the Mustangs, the Broncos, the trucks. Hate trucks, by the way. I feel like I'm still have to buy one, though, because I live in Texas. I feel like that's like a code you kind of have to have. I just love Italian cars. Ford, I like them. I put them definitely under this. I'd probably put Corvette over that, Brabus over this, Bentley over that. Yeah. Audi, honestly, I put that right there. I like Shelby, so I'd probably put that. Yeah, I like that. Amazing Apollo, yeah. Geely, I've heard of them, but don't know much about it. Genesis, it's like your better version of a Lexus or a better version of a Kia or a Honda. I've driven one. It's pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I drove a G70. Meh. Geo? What is that? Never heard of it. I don't want to look it up. GMC ass. Gumpert? Never heard of. I feel like I've heard of them, but I don't know. Hennessy is sick. Hennessy, I would probably put up to Apollo. Not my favorite, definitely, but I think they're really, really cool. They have the Venom F5 and all that stuff. Holden, I've heard of them, but don't know much about them. I think that's a British, right? Honda, oh yeah. Oh yeah, amazing. I love JDM cars. Oh, we got the Honda Civic, Honda Accord. Who gives a crap about the other ones? No one cares about them. This is all my thoughts, my opinions. If we want to have a battle in the comments below, let's do it. Let's do it. And I need y'all to click that subscribe button so we can hit 100K subscribers. That is my goal by the end of the year. I appreciate it. And hit the like button if you guys like me doing these car tier lists. I'll probably do them maybe like once a month. And hit the like button. I appreciate it. Hudson. I've heard of Hudson. I think it's a British car company. I'm probably wrong. No, know much about it. Hummer. Isn't it ass? I'm just gonna put them as terrible. I've heard complaints that it's not been good. Like I said, I don't know much about them. I'm gonna put them right here. Oops. I'm gonna put Hummer there. I don't know much about them. I have seen them, but I've heard some mixed complaints. If you're talking about the old Hummers or the newer Hummers. Alright, Hyundai ass. What is this? Thunderbird? Is that Thunderbird? Or am I wrong? Okay, so this is Imperial. Never heard of them. It's basically off of like a luxury version of Chrysler. Never heard of them. Infinity ass. International. Never heard of it. Isuzu. This is a Japanese car company. I'm not the biggest fan of, but I've heard of them, but don't know much about it. I've seen the trucks, but that's about it. And then, if this is what I think it is, it's not coming to mind. Italia. This is Italia design. Okay, so Italia design, they make these like one-off cars. It's like the SSC Tuatara and like Rimac in a way. It's Italian too. I think they're cool. I think I'd probably put them up as amazing. I like their cars. I think those are the same guys that made the Lincoln Hypersport.
Nope.
I could be wrong. Honestly, I'm gonna put them as I like them. I wouldn't put them as amazing. I don't know much about. I wouldn't say I don't know much about them, but I do like their cars. I'm gonna put that right there. I like that. Jaguar. I like the older models. If we're gonna get into specifics, the newer models just suck. The F-Type's cool. I like the older models. I would probably put them as cool. Jeep, terrible. I hate Jeep. Changed my mind about Jeep. Jensen, never heard of. Kia, terrible. Actually, I've heard that I've driven the new Telluride and it's pretty cool. So that might have saved it. I would put it as a not the biggest fan. Koenigsegg, ooh. Okay, I do love Koenigsegg. I would probably put them as amazing. I do love Koenigsegg. They make great cars, by the way. Oh, KTM. They make cool cars. I would probably put them up as I like them. I don't know much about KTM. I know it's a motorsport team that makes motorcycles and racing. And they're trying to get into cars. I don't know much about them, but actually, I'm gonna put them as cool. It's in between. I like car. I'm gonna put them right there. And then Lamborghini. Big Lamborghini fanboy. If you were to look at my room, we got the ends that we got. Well, we do have Ferrari right here. I don't know if you could see it. Ferrari, Lamborghini Diablo, and then far back right there is a Gallardo, the one I reviewed. Let's see. Can you see that right there? That Lamborghini Gallardo right there. It's the same model I reviewed, basically. I love Lamborghini. Lamborghini over Ferrari for sure. Lancia, that's still a car. That's still a working car company. It's just it's not in the U.S. It's a European brand. I've heard of them, but don't know much about them. I'm gonna say that. Land Rover. Do they still make cars? I'm just gonna put them. Not the biggest fan of. Lexus. Lexus is cool. My mom just bought a Lexus. If you're talking about the LFA, that's sick. Other cars, they're comfortable. I would say they're cool. I agree. A Shock Cleveland, never heard of. Lincoln, they're cool. I'm just gonna put them as meh. Same thing with Jaguar. Lola, I feel like I've heard of it, but don't know much about it. I'm gonna put them as I've never heard of it. And I feel like it's coming off of it's coming to mind, just don't remember. Lotus, I like Lotus. I like the Miura, there's the Evora, there's the what's the SUV called? I forgot what the SUV is called. If you guys don't know, there's an SUV. I think Lotus is cool. I put them over Acura, and like KTM. Lucid's a cool company. I like this over Tesla. I hate Tesla. I actually like Lucid. I like Lucid. I think Lucid's amazing. Like, it's fast. Actually, I would put them down here. I would probably put them right there. Maserati sucks. Except the MC. I don't know much about the MC12 or MC12, 20, that stuff, the nicer ones. I do love Italian, but Maserati just sucks. Maybach. It's just a nicer version of Mercedes. That's really it. I think it's cool though. I saw 3 yesterday. There was legit an SUV, a sedan that was all blacked out. Windows were tinted, and then there's a van right next to him going down like Highland Park. Mazda. I love Mazda. I haven't really heard anything bad about it. And they make the Miatas. I like them. I would probably put them. I like them. I would probably put them up here. McLaren. I do love McLaren. I'll probably put McLaren up here. They make solid cars. I've driven 3 of them. I've driven a Senna. I've driven a 765 LT, and I've driven the 720S. I like them. I would probably put them over Apollo, and then Koenigsegg right there. There we go. Mercedes is a great car. I would probably actually put them as my favorite up here. I love the C63S. I love the AMG GTR, SLS, Mercedes, McLaren. Actually, I'm gonna put them a tip right there. I like that. I like this. Oh, I forgot what this is called, but I saw them in Italy. It's a European car brand. I've heard of it, but don't know much about it. MG. Heard of it, but don't know much about it. Mini. I'm not the biggest fan of. I'm just gonna say that. I don't like Mini, but they're not terrible. Mitsubishi. I don't think. Do they still make cars? I don't know. I like the Land Evos. Who doesn't like them? I'm probably gonna put them as cool. I like that.
What is this?
I don't know what that is, and I'm too lazy. Never heard of. Okay, what is this now? This is the Mosler. That's what I was thinking of. I was thinking of like the Celine, but I was just like, okay. I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it. Nash, never heard of. Nino, never heard of. Nissan, only thing I want to say about Nissan is the GTR. I like that. I'm just gonna say that. I'm gonna put it up here. I'm putting them like up here. But other than their other cars, they suck. Noble, I've heard of them. I would probably put it as cool cars. It's like it's like a supercar. Oldsmobile, I don't think they make cars anymore, but they do make nice classics. I think they're cool. Opel, don't know much about them. I saw a bunch of them. I would just put them as meh, honestly. Packard, I've heard of it, but don't know much about it. Pagani, hell yeah. I'm putting them up there. I like how these are all Italians, by the way. I've been to the Pagani manufacturer, and I've met Ferruccio Pagani himself. I got to go to the museum. Absolutely beautiful. And they came out with the new Pagani Huayra, the Codalunga. It's pretty nice. The back reminds me of the Speedtail. I feel like I've seen this, but don't remember. Peugeot, It's just like, think of your Genesis, your Toyota, your Lincoln, your something, but it's in the UK, or it's European. What is this? Plymouth, I like them. I would say, they're cool. Dolores, they make like your normal cars, right? I've heard that they've just broken down, right? Like, things aren't going with them. I'm just putting them as terrible. What is this? I feel like I've seen it, but I don't know what about. I thought this was Polaris. Are you talking about Slingshot? Oh, jeez. Don't know what that is. This is Saturn, right? Or is this Mercury? Kinda forgot. Or is this Pontiac? Shit, I forgot. Yeah, it's Pontiac. Pontiac, great car. Everyone knows Pontiac is the Firebird, Trans Am. I love them. I would probably put them as amazing. Argue with me in the comments. Porsche. I love Porsche. I like how Bugatti is just getting pushed. I love Porsche. Been a Porsche fan. I'd probably put it more over than the Pagani than these two. So Lamborghini, Ferrari, Porsche. Actually, it'd be Lamborghini, Porsche, Ferrari. I've heard of this. I don't remember what it is. Radical. What is this? What is Quaveo more? I don't know what this is. Radical. Never heard of this. Reliant. Never heard. Renault. It's like your Toyota, your GMC, your usual cars in the U.S., but it's in it's in the U.S. It's in there. So I just put them as meh. Rezvani. They make such cool cars. They make very interesting cars. So basically, they take off regular body cars and they like bulletproof them and all that stuff. I would say they're cool. I'd probably put them more than the Maybach. Actually, I like Maybach more. I'd put Maybach there. I would honestly put Maybach up here, actually. Ariel can go down here. Same thing with Bach. K-Trim, yeah. Only reason why I'm putting Lexus, I guess, is so high. And like the KTM down here. I love the LFA, so. Rimac. Rimac is sick. I actually like Rimac. Rimac makes solid cars. I put them up as amazing. I'd probably put them over Koenigsegg, but not McLaren. Rivian, heard of them, don't know much about them. Actually, I'm just gonna put them as the not the biggest. All right, Rolls Royce, clean. I like them. I'd probably put them over like Lucid, all that stuff. Boston, Boysian, Rosian. I don't know what this is. RUF, never heard of it. Saab, terrible. Celine, it's like a supercar, hypercar. This is basically this is the Celine S7. This is it's so dusty. Holy crap. But yeah, this is 2001 Celine S7. I actually want to buy one of these. later on in life. Because it's a childhood car for me. I like them. Saturn. Meh. Cian. Meh. Oh! For some reason I was just like, what's Cian? I was thinking of Opal. Yeah, honestly I'd put them meh. I know what they made. See it? Meh. Oops. Shelby. Okay. And then if that's what Shelby is, I'm putting Ford down here. I low-key don't like Ford. I like Mustangs, but that's not. I'm just, Shelby. Shelby's a favorite of mine. I'm sorry. There's the Cobra, and then there's the Shelby Mustang. Argue with me in the comments. Singer? That's Singer, right? I don't know much about him. I've heard of him, but don't know much about him. Skoda. I've heard of him, but don't know much about him. Spada. I've heard of it, but don't know much about him.
What the hell?
Never heard of this. Spiker, never heard of. I feel like I've heard of this, but don't know much about him. I'm just gonna put this I never heard of. I don't know what that is. Oh my god. Studebaker. I've heard of him, actually. I think they're still in manufacturing. Subaru, love Subaru. There's the WRX, the BRZ. I like them. Make solid good cars. Sunbeam, never heard. Suzuki. Meh. Talbot, London, never heard. Tesla, trash. Toyota, Supra, I love Toyota. Toyota makes pretty solid cars. Even though the Supra is just a bunch of BMW components. What is this? I feel like I've seen it, but don't remember. Triumph, I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it. I think that's an American car company. What is this? TVR, there's the cigars. I don't think they're in manufacturing anymore. I've heard of it, but don't know much about them. Ultima, never heard of. What? I think this is Vauxhall. I've heard of it, but don't know much about them. Vector, never heard of. Dodge Viper, they're pretty cool. I won't lie. I like them. Actually, I'm just gonna put them as cool. Volkswagen, eh. I'm not the biggest fan of Volkswagen, low-key. Volvo, meh. I don't like them. I'm not the biggest fan of. How about let's just put that up there. They're not terrible, but...
What is this?
A lizard?
Bruh. What is this? I've seen this. I forgot what this is.
Oh, this is the one that made the Lincoln Hypersport. Never mind, I was so wrong with the Lincoln. I like this. This is pretty cool. I think it's cool. Never mind. I was so wrong with the Italia design. I just know they make cool cars. Zenvo, they're cool. Alright, let's kind of like work around some of this. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys want to go check it out, make your own car logo tier list. I'll put this link in the description below. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys want me to do more of these, please click the like button. And please leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn that notification bell. Have a blessed day.